XRP and XLM had kind of been, let's say, temporarily hijacked by the cabal and then turned around, flipped over, and become good again. But even Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I had written a decode about, I want to say like the beginning of January, something like that. And it's actually talking about Mount Gox. And I'm sure you're probably very familiar with the Mount Gox story, Dave. And when I wrote about that a little bit, so I won't go into like the full history of Mount Gox. It's actually quite extensive, but for the sake of the audience, of course, do your own research later on, and I have the full details on my channel as well. But the way that I understand through my research about Mount Gox is many, many years ago, JED McCaleb, who I think everybody knows, he started XRP and XLM. He had an online trading platform called Mount Gox, and is really for Magic the Gathering. That's what Mount Gox stands for. So Magic the Gathering online exchange. And then I think it was either within a couple of months or within a year or something, it suddenly just changed almost overnight, and it became known as the world's biggest exchange for Bitcoin. And what kind of transferred, or what kind of ensued over the next couple of years is Mount Gox then became associated with some of the biggest money laundering slash Ponzi slash trafficking slash we don't know what the heck happened in the history of all of cryptocurrency. And so I've always wondered, what exactly was that all about? Because it doesn't seem logical to me that that's actually the true story behind it. Because whenever something is touted that much in the public narrative, it usually tells me that there's something completely opposite that's actually the truth behind it. And one of my biggest telltale signs for that was they keep saying JED McCaleb is, because he started Mount Gox and he was part of this big Ponzi slash money laundering scheme, and then he left there, and then suddenly he started XRP, and then he left there, and that's, lots of shadiness, and people don't know what's going on with XRP, and the whole lawsuit, they think it's fraudulent, right? That's the public narrative. And then he left there and he started XLM, and he's not even like really with Stellar. He's still there, but he's not actively with Stellar. He's building, he's actually working on building out a commercial space station, actually. But when you put all these pieces together, it's kind of like, we know JED McCaleb is a white hat, so why would he be associated with potentially, through the public eyes, 3 different Ponzi schemes slash money laundering schemes slash like what the heck is going on with these asset schemes? So I looked into it further, and I realized that Mount Gox is actually tied to Homeland Security and the NSA. So when he launched this, and then he sold Mount Gox over to a guy named Carpels, I think that's how you pronounce his name, that was actually all being monitored by the military, by the US military. And so as things kind of progressed where, things were getting stolen or hacked off the exchange, sold and hidden in basically the whole realm of a couple different years of very interesting history, it then dawned on me that as I was looking at this information, it seemed to run parallel with all the information from Ethereum coming out, where you suddenly have, for the last 2 or 3 years or so, a lot of articles, with like Killnet or Lazarus Group saying that this stuff over in Ethereum is also getting laundered or also getting stolen or hijacked because of all the hacking going on in the background. And so as I put 2 and 2 together, I was like, holy crap, this is actually really interesting, because I know Mount Gox was a sting op. What if Ethereum was also a sting op? And because it's all being done, theoretically through JED McCaleb, what if XRP and XLM and all of the Stellar network were also sting ops as well? And one of the most exciting things is, as I was kind of putting this decode out there to the channel, I sent my summary over to a couple of the different white hat developers that I work with. And one of them, who is with the BRICS team, he responded back, and I basically messaged him, and I was like, frown if it's less than 50% accurate or whatever the percentage was. But the last one I said, giggle if it's over 75% accurate. And he came back and he giggled, and I was like, please don't play with my emotions here. And he said, no, I wouldn't dare to do that. So I don't know of my theory, what is a 75% accurate and what is a 25 or whatever that number is not accurate. But what I can confirm for sure is Jen McCaleb, Mt. Gox, DHS, and NSA. That's already been confirmed through the FBI, actually, through their court documents. So that gets really interesting. So I say all that to say that it really seems as if, whoever the Satoshi Nakamoto is, and I'd be very curious to know who your thoughts on this character.
I know, but I can't reveal it.
But you can't reveal it.
Yeah.
So Satoshi Nakamoto has actually been unmasked by the military. And of course, they weren't privy. I don't know what that means.
4. It's a group.
Oh, 4. Well, they've been unmasked by the military, and they had an interview with them that we posted some of the Q&A on. And from how I understand it, I don't know if you're allowed to say this, Dave, or not. If you can't, maybe wink or give me some kind of sign. But it seems that Satoshi Nakamoto and the group that he was working with, or they were working with, in addition to all the ancillary blockchains that they were working with, everything was designed not just for a sting operation, but more specifically, so eventually everything would come into the ISO 20022 network, because they had to set up this massive public narrative of bad, 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 bad. Here's a solution. Here's the quantum solution sitting here waiting for you. So what do you think about that?
Started posting on this in